Hey guys, today we're going to explore the mythical mind of Miguel Gomes through his Cannes Award-winning film Grand Tour, which is currently streaming on Mubi. Set in the 20th century, the film is about Edward, a British diplomat who is stationed in Burma. On hearing the news that his fiancée is going to arrive in order to wed him, he decides to flee across Asia to avoid getting married. However, his fiancée Molly decides to follow him in order to share some pressing news. Grand Tour won Miguel Gomes the Best Director award at the Cannes Film Festival last year, and it was also selected as Portugal's official submission for the 97th Academy Award for Best International Feature Film. In this video, I'm going to review the film, and I will also look at it as Portugal's Oscar submission by looking at Portugal's history at the Oscars. So let's roll and review that film. If you're new to my channel, my name is Paul, and I review the best of contemporary world cinema, and I follow the race for Best International Feature Film Oscar, from countries choosing their submission to the final winner. Now, if you've never seen a Miguel Gomes film before, you really have to enter it with such an open mind and just take in the sounds and images and abstract ideas that he's presenting in such beautiful cinema. While his films may be quite abstract, there is a basic narrative that fits this film. Edward goes across different parts of Southeast Asia in order to escape marriage. And however, it doesn't necessarily form that typical travelogue narrative that you would expect. And actually, the film is actually divided in two halves. One, we follow Edward's, and then we follow Molly's route, which provides us with a different point of view, as well as a different travel experience. And fundamentally, this is, for me, what Grand Tour is about. It's Miguel Gomes's dissection of colonialism and the interference between East and West. So in the Edward portion of the film, we are very much seeing that colonial point of view. He sees the people he meets as exotic and different, and he watches them rather than integrates with them. And fundamentally, Edward others them by treating them as different. However, these communities are not passive and victims. They see what Edward are doing, and therefore they reject his point of view. And using the Molly following him example, we really see this because her experience is very different. She comes as an equal person to these communities, willing to engage, doesn't watch them, doesn't fetishize them. She wants to be part of these different communities, even if it's only for a day. And that's the difference. You have one character who sees themselves as superior and watches the difference, while you have another character who purposely tries to integrate with the communities, to understand them, and sees themselves as an equal. And as the case with all of Gomes's films, there is an element of incoherence and contradiction. He's not trying to create this realistic early 20th century societies that they go through their travels. Instead, he incorporates things such as modern technology, the modern buildings, and various things like this. So it gives a sense of time, but at the same time, it's interlinked with how we view different communities today. And us as travelers or observers in the news or whatever it might be, how we constantly other communities, especially those who are in the Western societies. But there is also this element of comedy within the film. Gomez is purposely making a satirical point. It's very funny by the fact that the English characters are actually communicating with each other in native Portuguese, which is reversing what often happens in many films, where they take characters from different communities who don't speak English as their native language and then flipping it to English so the viewer understands what's going on. Here, the characters are speaking Portuguese despite the fact they're not native Portuguese speakers. It's very much flipping the idea that English is a form of dominance and imperialism by showing how English characters are portrayed by them not speaking English. As with all Gomes's films, the cinematography is beautiful. There's lots of black and white, with the occasional splash of colour, again providing this incoherence that is wonderfully beautiful and exciting cinema. It uses actual footage of the different places Edward goes to, so whether that's capturing communities that are singing or dancing. And at one point, there's this fan where they do karaoke, certainly something that did not exist in the early 20th century, but something he has ingrained within the film to make reference to the present as well as the past. This film is a dreamlike travelogue that provides us with great insight to multiple cultures and experiences in Asia, that packs a punch with its commentary on colonialism. As I said, this was Portuguese official Oscar submission at the 97th Academy Awards, and it continued the trend of Portuguese films not progressing in the category. In fact, Portugal is the country with the most Oscar submissions without even making the shortlist. They have submitted 30 films in total and have never had a shortlisted film, never been nominated, and never won the award. Now, of course, at the last Cannes Film Festival, when Miguel Gomes won the Best Director award, there was speculation that this could be the first film that at least got Portugal their first shortlisted film. However, it was not the case. Despite this, I can kind of understand why this was not shortlisted. For the average viewer, it's not the most accessible film, and you really have to let yourself go of trying to format a narrative to it and just experience the film. And I imagine that's quite challenging for some Oscar voters, which will put them off shortlisting the film. I absolutely adore Miguel Gomez's work. I love Taboo, I love the Arabian Night trilogy, and I feel Grand Tour is pretty much up there. This is an auteur director that really appeals to me, and this film is a really solid addition to his filmography. So I would therefore give Portugal's Grand Tour 4.5 stars. If you like this video and want to watch more reviews for world cinema or follow the race for Best International Feature Film, please do like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share the video amongst friends. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to reviewing more films from the Best International Feature Film Academy Award category.